What is up, guys? Archon Tsunami here, bringing you guys another Overwatch video. In this video, we're going to talk about the Torbjorn rework a bit, where I think Torb still stands afterwards, and yeah, I know why I disagree with the rework, or not disagree with, but just disagree with how it was implemented. But let's hop into it. Basically, he's still got his rivet gun, he's still got the hammer. His turret, you can now throw, and it has a bit more synergy with Symmetra's teleporter. Just throw it in there and it just deploys automatically. The nice thing about it is it doesn't shoot until it's fully deployed. You have to destroy it. You can destroy it with F if you want to replace it, but it's a 10-second cooldown, which is really weird. I think that kind of handicaps him. I don't think the turret's strong enough to where it warrants being on a 10-second cooldown after being destroyed. His new 2 ability instead of armor packs is Overload. And it's his Molten Core passives kind of rolled into one. You get the armor, you get the bonus attack speed, bonus reload, and move speed. Truthfully, I don't think it's going to help that much. It's not a great secondary ability. And the reason I say that is an extra 150 armor to your HP pool really isn't that great. Considering the fact that Torbjorn's headshot hitbox is basically his whole body, so a Widow's still going to pretty much two-shot you, a Hanzo's going to two-shot you, and if he has Storm Arrow, you're pretty much going to get melted. So I still wish he had the armor packs for team utility, so that way he could help his teammates out a bit more. Just put him on a cooldown or something. You know, make it, I don't know. Like you could, Tracer Blinks or something, to where you could stack them and they just come up periodically, you know. I wish he would have done that instead of this. Anyway, I'm trying to think of the words for it, but anyway, new Molten Core. Basically, you drop these slag on the ground and they deal damage to anything that walks through them. You can kind of stack them on top of each other, or you can stack them on top of each other, but it doesn't deal bonus damage for stacks, you know. Blizzard kind of thought of that, so you can't just drop a bunch and then just insta-kill somebody. You have to spread them out, otherwise it just deals the normal damage per slag. So basically it's just ground area denial. And personally, I think Torb's level 3 turret, if they would have just given him this type of turret and kept the old Molten Core, I think he would have been fine. So that way there was just 2 levels to the turret. It was the normal and then it would be Molten Core turret. I think that would have been okay, because I think his turret is better at area denial, both ground and aerial. Whereas the new alt just gives him the ability to deal with armored targets better and just ground denial. And let's be real, like a lot of the kits out, like, just don't bother walking. Diva's mech flies, Winston jumps, Reinhardt's the only one that suffers. I guess Orisa kind of suffers too, so those are the only 2 armor users that are really going to suffer from it. And there's no way Bastion's going to be inside the Molten Slag, unless you just shoot globs at him when he's in turret form, then yeah, I guess it would work. You could, I guess, in theory, use it to counter Bastion. Guess I didn't mention it before, it deals bonus damage to armor. And it seems like this rework was a knee-jerk reaction by Blizzard in order to counter Brigitte's meta without actually nerfing Brigitte. And I don't agree with this. Like I said in the opener, I just don't think this is a good idea. I don't like when heroes have to directly counter other heroes, because then they don't have any viability outside of that meta typically. And Torbjorn was already a niche pick, and you've made him more so. So once Brigitte does fall off and her rally is no longer being used to give armor, Torbjorn really just probably isn't going to have a big place in the game. I don't know, we'll see. It just really rides on how well the Molten Slag works as an area denial tool. I think there's too much momentum and too much mobility in the game in order for this to actually work. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong in the past. I think this is the first time, though, that Blizzard has gone out of their way to make a hero actually counter another hero's kit directly. You could also argue, I guess, that Brigitte counters Tracer, but again, I think that's just another case of Brigitte being able to deal more damage than Tracer can deal with. Same thing for Winston and Genji, whereas Winston doesn't do anything to directly counter Genji's kit. He just has a weapon that deals well with Genji, if that makes any sense. Like, there's nothing that Winston does that stops a deflect or stops a dash. Yeah, if that makes any sense. Whereas this is a direct counter, like Torbjorn's ultimate is a direct counter to Brigitte's ultimate in that it shreds armor. So it's basically an ability that counters another character's ability directly. If that makes any more sense. So yeah, that's pretty much the Torbjorn rework in a nutshell, my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think down below if you think that maybe I'm wrong on the whole him not being a niche pick anymore, him being able to be viable like Hanzo's rework was. I still wish that, like I said, they had done a little bit more to make him viable like Hanzo will always be viable. Like the Hanzo rework was really good. His storm arrows basically decimate tanks now, so he's a better Reaper. I think it's 70, or what is it? No, it's 50 per headshot, or no, 50 per normal body shot, and I think 100 per headshot, if I'm not mistaken, or is it still 70? Maybe it's 70 per headshot, or 70 per body, and then 70 or 140 per headshot. Sorry, I don't know. Like, I haven't kept up with Hanzo's numbers in a while. I remember when he launched, he was basically able to, if you had a Zenyatta and a Mercy, he would get damage boosted, and then they discord a target, and he'd shoot him in the head with the Storm Arrow, and it would basically insta-kill any 200 health hero. So he was insanely broken. I just wish that they had, done something, not to make Torbjorn broken, but just to make him viable outside of this armor meta. Because eventually Brigitte will, become a niche, or not a niche pick, but will eventually fall to the wayside. Better supports with the nerfs and buffs to every other support will happen, and, we'll end up with new metas. It just sucks that Torb's going to get kind of left in the past. But like I said before, leave me a comment with your guys' thoughts on it. Let me know if, I'm wrong. You think I'm wrong on the whole niche pick thing. If you think Torbjorn can actually be something in this with this rework. He can actually be a meta hero. Yeah, any interaction is nice. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll be sure to link my Twitch, and so you guys can find me when I do stream. Be sure to follow the channel. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now. Be sure to subscribe, like, follow, all that weird YouTube stuff, that mumbo jumbo. So I know what you guys like video-wise, because it's kind of hard coming up with videos. But yeah. Like I said, I'll link the Twitch down below. Be sure to follow. I go live pretty much every day during the week for the most part. Usually Sundays and Wednesdays are a toss-up, but most cases I'm live. I'm usually live around afternoon Eastern time, like 3 or 4, somewhere around there. I stream 5 hours. But anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.